Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at a Dachsbun in the Open Great League. This Pokemon got recently released while I was away on vacation, so now I'm back and now I can finally take a look at this Pokemon as well. I did battles basically immediately when this Pokemon came out as well already, because yeah, I knew already based on the stats, based on how it looked like on just PvPoke, that this Pokemon is most likely going to be very interesting and very solid. To be fair, I was a bit surprised because it was actually even better than I expected. And we will see it here in today's video as well. I did like 3-4 sets with this team and it was an absolutely amazing team to run. I would really recommend you to give this team a try if you want to climb right now in the Go Battle League. As you're going to have here a team with the Dachsbun, the Azumarill, as well as the Diggersby. Diggersby, I also can have to say something towards as well a little bit later. But yeah, this team is going to be an ABB style line with Azumarill as a say-so, baiting out Pokemon like Clodsire. While still being able to do some sort of damage against them, and otherwise you're going to have of course the lead of Diggersby, which is good against Pokemon that are from the Poison or Steel typing. Anyway, today we're going to take a look here at this team, and here for Diggersby, I forgot in the video yesterday where we're going to see that basically Diggersby is going to get the Shadow variant soon. I forgot to say that Return Diggersby is actually also something that you have to take a look at as well for the next Shadow event, because Return Diggersby is actually the best variant of Diggersby most likely, allowing you to have a very hard hitting move with a 130 damage on a Pokemon that is part normal type. Is really solid. It's just a better version of Hyper Beam basically. And I would assume that Scorching Sands plus the Return is going to be the best moveset soon for the Diggersby. Anyway, we're going to take a look here at our matchup against that Steelix. It's not going to be as ideal, but it's also not that bad. Here the main bread and butter of the Dachsbun is going to be the Psychic Fangs, as this is going to allow you to drop the opponent's defense really easily, which makes it an absurdly strong Charmer. Especially here, this is going to be cheaper as, for example, an Icy Wind from the... what's called the other one? The Charmer, the Wigglytuff, of course. And it is going to be just a little bit better as well, because you rather want to get more damage in with a Charm compared to just dropping the opponent's attack itself. And so yeah, the Psychic Fangs Dachsbun is absolutely overpowered. I would assume that for like the next regional events as well, this move most likely, or like this Pokemon most likely going to have a lot of play there as well. So make sure to get a good one as well. The event is still going on while I'm doing this video, and also while you see the video. See the video a little bit later, because yeah, I'm still sadly sick. It takes me a little bit currently to get things done. But we have here the Steelix coming in against us with the Thunderfang, which is not really ideal, but we have the opponent in a range where we should be able to even go for the full farm down here, as bubble damage is coming in, and bubble damage is going to connect there as well, doing some super effective damage. They have so many Psychic Fangs, which is quite ridiculous, but it doesn't really matter because they are still not really doing that much damage. We're going to be able to swap out now into the Dachsbun, and we can farm down the opponent's Diggersby. Moving on to the next opponent, we're going to have here the Feraligatr, the lead. What you want to do here is you kind of want to stay in, and you kind of want to swap out onto the Hydro Cannon into the Azumarill, which can take any kind of charge move from the Feraligatr. Take a look here now in this matchup. We're going to see that we can also go ahead and go for a player, if I want to say, but they swap out into their own Alolan Sandslash, which is going to be a bit of a tricky Pokemon for this team, because it's one of the steel types that can actually deal with Diggersby itself here, which is going to be a bit awkward. And so we're gonna force to go for another player off here, because otherwise the opponent is going to be able to go for even more of a farm run. I guess they're still going to be forced to go for another charge move here, which is our only real way to go. We see the Drill Run coming through, we have the Fire Punch coming in straight away, but they swapped out back into the Feraligatr, which is quite unfortunate, because now we have to go to the Dachsbun, and I decide to use a shield here. I mostly have to use another shield against the opponent's Feraligatr here as well in this matchup, exactly. But at the end of the day, this is going to be guaranteed hard-hitting damage, and I'd rather use shields here in those scenarios. Of course, we are now 2 shields down, which is not ideal at all. But yeah, the Sandslash is coming back in here again. We can actually go for a charge move here as well, allowing us to drop the opponent's defense and get the shield from them as well at the same time. Now we can knock them out as well, but now it depends on what they're going to have in the back here. Draw Run is coming through. It is going to be the Primeape, and honestly I maybe should have swapped out already here a little bit earlier to give myself a little bit of a better chance there, because then they're going to be forced to go for the close combat against me, but here the opponent plays it very, very smart because, you know, they're still going to have a shield. They just go for a right twist, and that's going to allow them guaranteed to knock me out now. With a close combat, a good game here. Could have played a little bit better, and could have most likely actually won this battle as well if I did that. Next opponent, we're going to have Malamar in the lead. What you want to do here is you kind of definitely want to swap out eventually because you're going to have a better matchup with both of the Pokemon in the back. But here we see already on how this team kind of is supposed to function. You're supposed to get out the Cloudsire with the Say-Stop of Zumroll, and Ice Beam is going to be very, very good here in order to get some damage onto them. And you should usually be able to also align yourself here with the Zumroll as far as I have been able to do that. But if the opponent would want to use a shield here, they would be able to almost like keep their alignment for themselves. But at this point, I know what I have to do. I kind of have to go for a player off here. I should be going into my Diggersby afterwards. Then again, I hope that I play this correctly here. I'm not too sure if I actually did play this correctly. I have to go to my Diggersby now. I did decide to play it correctly, which is of course always kind of nice. And as you will see here, this Earth Power is going to connect against us. We're going to try our best to go for an overfarm here. But as you'll see here, the opponent still gets to another Earth Power as well. But it doesn't really matter too much. I swap out into the Malamar. I decided to use a shield here because I kind of want to keep the energy, and I'm still going to be able to go for a Scorching Set now. And I can go for the full farm down against the opponent here with my Dachsbun here as well. We're going to go for the full Charm down, and as you will see here, the opponent has nothing to do here unless they have Hyper Beam, which is very unlikely at this point. Yeah, we're going to be able to win this matchup quite easily, and the opponent is going to go down here to my Dachsbun. Good game there to the opponent. We can move on to the next one. Next opponent coming up here, we will have Diggersby against Yong. Not ideal matchup at all. We actually decided to usually stay in for a little bit. I can go for the Scorching Sets before they can go for their own first charge move, but I decided to swap out anyway to catch a move here on to our Zumroll, which is going to be the Icy Wind, which is okay because it's going to be resisted. But of course our attack is dropped, and they decide to stay in here, which is actually kind of okay for me because we have, of course, a player of still here, and we're going to have some neutral damage coming up. And yes, they have Drapion, which is also neutral, but we have a little bit better bulk here, which is going to be great. And as you can see here, while yes, it's going to be a little bit of an awkward matchup, it is looking like we have a very solid shot at realigning ourselves, which would be very, very cool. So let's see how this is going to go here. We will have the player off coming through. We're going to try our best to go for another move as well, but we decided to let the move go through here. It's going to be the drill run again, and they're sadly going to be able to knock me out just one before I am going to be able to get to another charge move. And in comes Talonflame. Talonflame is going to be very difficult now where Zumroll is gone. With Zumroll still there, of course, this Pokemon would be definitely easier to deal with. But we can use a shield. Oh, we actually no shield. The first one is going to be a fly, which is going to be very important that we are no shielding a fly here. We're going to be able to still at least go for the Scorching Sand. Scorching Sand is going to allow us to put them into range for even another one. And so all of a sudden, a very bad matchup for us turns to be a very solid matchup for us. It's a Primeape in the back, and this is going to be basically perfect for our Dachsbun because we are going to be even able to take the hits here because everything is going to be basically not really threatening on this Pokemon. It has better bulk than I think even the Wigglytuff. So yeah, Dachsbun is such a strong Pokemon. So here we're going to have a matchup where we have the Corsola in the lead, which is going to be great for us, especially as we're going to see as well the swap out into the Annihilate, which you're going to be able to deal with our Dachsbun, and that is going to be kind of great. We see the swap out into the Toxapex, and they decide to forfeit here already. Of course, the opponent has like a double weakness there to the ground typing, which was not ideal. We're going to see here an Ariados against us, and also a Feraligatr carrying into us as well. We can go for Scorching Sands. I will try to catch the Hydro Cannon onto my Azumarill as well later on. It does not work out, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter as well, because they're still going to go for Hydro Cannons here. They're still switch locked anyway, so it is not really too devastating. And as you will see here, we're going to try our best to go for the full farm load against the opponent. And it's going to be the Hydro Cannon coming through, and we have to let the next move go through as well. I should be able to go for the full farm down. And with that, we would have a lot of energy. They stop out onto the Morpeko. That is going to be a good game because we have a ground type and we're going to have a Charmer here still in the back, which makes it a very, very easy matchup for us. If we use a shield here, even if they're going to go for the Psychic Fangs, we would be able to just easily resist whatever they have in the back now anyway, because we have now a Pokemon with Dark type charge moves there. Which would have been great for the Dachsbun as well. That's the thing as well with the Morpeko. It's benefit, but also sometimes a little bit easier to play against if you know on like when to use your shields, because yeah, for our Dachsbun there, it was not really threatening at all, because yeah, as soon as they're gonna go for one charge move, they only have Psychic Fangs, which is a weak-ish Psychic type move. Like here, of course, we have Psychic Fangs on this Pokemon as well, but mainly for the debuff. Or Aurelion, which was resisted. So yeah, it is definitely a little bit easier matchup there. Here we're gonna see the Ariados against our own Diggersby, and that's going to be a good game. The opponent even decides to forfeit here. So, we're going to have Wigglytuff here, another Charmer, which is going to be interesting on how this matchup is going to go. You see already, by the way, at this point, this team is just absolutely overpowered. Like, this is, yeah, a concept that is definitely very, very strong to run. It's going to be a bit tricky against maybe Grass-type leads, I have to say. But I didn't really see any of them, so I feel like that is going to be okay. We have here the Swift coming through against us, which is totally fine. We can go for a Play Rough, and with this we're going to have very likely the Switch advantage and the Shield advantage at the same time, which is going to be very overpowered. As now I can perfectly align myself against the opponent, as well as we're going to still be able to do a ton of damage. Against the opponent's Gastron here with a Play Rough coming in their way. We're going to try our best to go for another charge move here as well with the Ice Beam. As we will see as well, the opponent decides to let this Body Slam go up against us, but it's not going to be even enough to knock us out. We're going to be able to go ahead and go for the charge move, get the shield from them. We have our Diggersby here, which you can still use a shield as well. I stopped into this Pokemon because I know the Dachsbun is going to be okay as well. Still, we have the Driftbomb here in the back against us, which is totally okay, as we will be able to go for a Fire Punch and another Fire Punch, and that is going to be very nice because we get some nice damage onto them. Even I think an Ice Beam is not going to be enough to knock us out from this range, but we have to see, because yeah, at the end of the day, I kind of would like to swap out as soon as possible into my Charmer. As we will see here, another Fire Punch is coming their way as well, doing some solid damage. The opponent's Driftbomb is quite low, and yeah, 3 more Charms is all we need to knock them out. I can use a shield here for a potential Shadow Ball. It is going to be the Icy one. It is totally fine, because at this point we know the next one should be kind of fine, winning us the entire battle. They go for the Icy one here though, so we do less damage, but we can still go for the Psychic Fangs here. And that's going to be a very good game against the opponent, and we can move on to the next one. So, Diggersby against Diggersby, you kind of want to swap out most likely eventually, but the thing is here, you kind of want to see if Scorching Sands gets the debuff or not. Like, that's going to be very important. If you get the debuff here, you kind of win the matchup. Otherwise, you kind of have to improvise and swap out, most likely. Here for this team as well, we have an ABB style line. If you... Oh, Hyper Beam, that's kind of crazy. If you don't know how ABB style lines work, the thing is for those lines is that you kind of want to keep your lead healthy and alive, which didn't work out for us because they had Hyper Beam. Because that will allow you to basically, yeah, counter the counters for your backline afterwards. Like, it's really important to keep your lead alive, at least for like the last 2 Pokemon there, until you basically know what you have to deal with. But as you see here, you're gonna be able to go for the Play Rough against the Diggersby, which is just doing a little bit more damage than compared to the Psychic Fangs there. But in hindsight, I'm actually wondering if it would have been better just to go for the Psychic Fangs to get the debuff, and so our Zuma would be able to farm them down a little bit easier. We'll see here the Drapion, we have a little bit of lag there as well, but it's going to be okay. We can go for an Ice Beam. We see that they let the move go through. And I want to kind of get as much fast move pressure onto them as possible, because for me, my win con here is to basically farm down both of the opponent's Pokemon here with Bubble, I think, because they still have a shield left here. We need quite a lot of bubbles to get to that energy. And so Occotail is coming through from the opponent. We're going to be able to go for the full farm down with our Bubble Azumarill as I swap onto the Diggersby. Let's see if they're going to use a shield or not. It doesn't actually really matter. They decide to let the move go through. And so it's down to a Drapion against Bubble of the Azumarill. If Bubble is going to be enough here to knock them out, we're going to be fine. We're going to be able to still take 2 crunches. And as you will see here, we can farm them down in time and we can move on to the final battle. Horrible lead here for us with the Talonflame against the Diggersby, but I can overfarm by quite a bit and I can just kind of try to troll the opponent a little bit, kind of trying to get them to think that I have something like Hyper Beam here. We had 100 energy at this point. We can go for a Scorching Sands. I wasted a little bit of energy there as well. I actually don't really know how much I wasted. I think 4 energy points, so that's kind of unfortunate. But as you see here, the opponent is gonna go ahead and go for another fly. I can swap out to my Azumarill. They swap out into the Clodsire. Basically exactly what you kind of want to do here, because Clodsire is such a pain for the Dachsbun that I kind of want to get rid of this Pokemon beforehand. And this is like the idea behind the team, trying to bait out the Clodsire with your Azumarill. I have a great answer for Clodsire and the lead with the Diggersby. and just kind of try to have the end game where Dachsbun can sweep. And so, as you will see here, we're going to have the Ice Beam coming through against the opponent. It is good to allow us to get the KO here. And we will have the swap out now into the Diggersby, going for the Scorching Sands against the opponent, getting some nice damage onto them. And in comes the Gastron, which still has to take another Scorching Sands. And I can just keep the shield for the Talonflame most likely, because especially after the attack drop here, even the Earth Power is going to be fine for us. We have now a matchup as well, where when they go for a charge move, I can sneak in another free fast move as well for myself. I decided to actually use a shield here against the opponent's Earth Power, because now at this point they have to kind of go for a Brave Bird in order to knock me out. And that's easily for us the best position that we can have, because now one bubble is going to be enough to knock them out. And with this, we end up with a 5-0 here as well. This team was absolutely amazing. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to leave a like. And I will see you then, hopefully when I am a little bit less sick. Bye bye.